He said it plain and unglamorous. It's a challenge, but I know we're going to be able to get over the challenge. It just expedites everything. You just go out there and take risks. It is what it is. That line, equal parts frustration and defiance, is the closest thing Cleveland's locker room has had to a mission statement this season. And when Shedeur Sanders said it, he did something fans had been shouting for weeks. He confirmed aloud what they already felt. The Browns have been winging it at quarterback, and the kid who slid to the 5th round is living with the consequences. Newsweek Sanders didn't say, "I want the job," or "I'm better than the rest." He said what a player who's been denied reps says when the opportunity finally lands on his shoulders. Trust matters. Trust in timing, trust in route depth, trust that a receiver will be at the exact spot your eyes find a half second before the ball leaves your hand. He's talking about the tiny invisible threads that make an offense hum, and about how those threads were cut short for him by a roster that chose one rookie's development over giving another rookie consistent first-team reps. That's not drama. That's context. ESPN.com. Let's not sugarcoat the tape. Sanders' early starts have been a rough blend of flashes and growing pains. A couple of really promising deep strikes, a handful of plays where pocket mechanics and time to throw betray him, and enough sacks or negative plays to remind coaches why veteran insurance matters. Those are the things that make coaches uncomfortable and fans headline hungry. But they're also exactly what you expect from a rookie who didn't live with the first-team group until late in the season. He's learning in public, loudly, painfully, and with a camera on every mistake. Yahoo Tetao. The larger story, though, is organizational. This offseason and through the year, the Browns shuffled quarterbacks like a deck. They brought Joe Flacco in, traded him away, leaned on Dillon Gabriel, and only when injuries forced a hand did Shedeur Sanders finally get a real audition. Fans asked, why not him sooner? And he answered with a patient, honest frustration: trust and reps. That matters because developing a QB is not a flip-the-switch exercise. You don't build pocket rhythm in 3 days. You build it in rep after rep, in scripted drives, in the tiny decisions that become automatic when the lights get bright. Cleveland's choices compressed that timeline and then demanded instant maturity. Sanders called the compression what it was. clevelandbrowns.com. At the same time, there's a new variable in the room: Deshaun Watson. The Browns just opened a 21-day practice window for Watson to return from multiple Achilles surgeries. The team will evaluate him over the next 3 weeks and either activate him or shut his season down to IR. That development isn't a hypothetical. It's a financial and football reality that layers complexity onto every decision Cleveland will make about its quarterback future. If Watson shows anything resembling comfort in practice, the Browns are suddenly juggling the veteran they paid for and a rookie who's asking to keep learning and doing it on game days. The room is crowded, the stakes are real, and the timeline is short. Reuters. Which brings us back to the meat of Sanders' comment about trust. If you're building a plan for a 23-year-old starter, it has to be surgical. Script the early drive so the kid can find rhythm. Prioritize quick, high-percentage reads to reduce sacks and negative plays. Hand him rollouts and designed movements so his playmaking instincts are a plus rather than a liability. And protect him with personnel packages that buy a roughly 2-second window to make the correct read. Do that, and you'll see completion rate climb and bad habits fade. Don't do that, and you'll keep getting highlight reel throws sandwiched between mistakes that become viral identity markers. Sanders named the problem. Now the organization has to choose the remedy. clevelandbrowns.com. Let's be honest about the emotional calculus. Fans wanted Sanders earlier because they saw personality, pocket bravery, and the kind of arrow-up tool set that feels exciting. Management prioritized a single rookie development model. It's defensible on paper, but it leaves no hedge when injuries happen. Now the optics work against Team Brass. A 5th-round pick who could have used developmental reps is suddenly auditioning in front of the whole league while the expensive veteran practices on the sideline. That's a narrative problem even if, in some ways, the front office believed it was the right football decision at the time. Stories matter in this league. They shape pressure and patience. Sanders' line, "It is what it is both resignation and a dare. Judge me on the tape you give me, not the highlight reels you steal." Dogs by nature. So what happens next? If Dillon Gabriel clears concussion protocols, the Browns might revert to him, continuity over experiment. If Gabriel can't go, or if the front office decides the future favors youth, Sanders will get the sort of structured first-team rehearsal he has lacked. And if Watson flashes and is cleared, then you're in the most interesting dilemma. Play the expensive veteran who's earned the contract, or keep developing the rookie who might cost far less and could be the long-term answer. Either path has strategic consequences: cap, draft, culture, and Cleveland will be forced to pick quickly. Reuters. There's one final human angle to hold on to. Sanders didn't whine, he diagnosed. That matters. A quarterback who recognizes the emotional triggers that make him hold the ball too long, negative energy in his phrasing, has already taken the hardest step: self-awareness. The rest is practice and patience. Coaches coach technique, teammates earn trust by being where they're supposed to be. If he pairs his admission with disciplined reps and the staff matches that with the right game plan, the growing pains will quiet down and the flashes will become standards. If they don't, the highlight moments will continue to outnumber the consistent ones. Newsweek. Here's the clean takeaway. Shedeur Sanders just gave Browns fans the answer they wanted. Not by demanding a job, but by owning the problem. He spelled out why he stalled at times and what he needs to fix. The organization now faces a choice as concrete as any in the NFL. Give the kid the structured reps and protection he needs and judge him on a fair sample, or let the season's chaos keep defining him. For fans, for coaches, and for front office planners, that's the test. The clock is ticking, in practice, in games, and in the front office's 21-day windows and cap sheets. How the Browns act next will tell us whether Sanders' line, "It is what it is," becomes a shrug or a starting point for something better. ClevelandBrowns.com. Got you, Andy. Here's a full YouTube script in your usual witty, energetic, NFL chaos-loving style built straight from this story. No headings, no timeline markers, just clean content-only script in US English. Man, the Cleveland Browns are running the quarterback position like a middle school talent show. Everybody gets a turn, nobody's prepared, and the audience is just praying anyone shows they practiced. And this week, rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders basically said the quiet part Browns fans have been yelling into the void for months. Why wasn't I playing earlier? Let's take it from the top. The Browns spent the offseason treating quarterbacks like coupons. Collect them, trade them, throw them out if they expire. Kenny Pickett, gone to the Raiders before he even unpacked. Joe Flacco, brought in to be the adult in the room, then shipped off to an AFC North rival like a garage sale item. Dillon Gabriel, booted onto the field in Week 5 like a kid pushed into the deep end of the pool. And now we've reached the Shedeur era, finally. The rookie walks in, brings actual energy to this offense, and the entire fan base collectively goes, yeah, no kidding, what took so long? And Shedeur didn't exactly tiptoe around the situation. He basically dropped a whole TED talk on trust issues. Chemistry matters. Reps matter. Eye contact matters. Being fourth on the depth chart doesn't exactly help me build that. He didn't say that word for word, but that's the vibe. Then he hits us with, you just go out there and take risks. It is what it is. Oh. Since when does Kevin Stefanski allow freestyle mode? This man coaches like he's afraid the rule book will file an HR complaint if you color outside the lines. Let's be real. They drafted 2 quarterbacks outside the top 90 picks. They threw both into a blender with no veteran mentor, no plan, and basically said, good luck, boys. And now they're surprised the transition